can we just first take a second to appreciate that my t-shirt is Illuminati pizza? Just putting that out there. Okay, I'm a little bit annoyed about this video for two reasons. One is that it's late, it was supposed to go up in January and it's now February. Two, it's late because I lost almost all of the footage from building this. Just vanished off my hard drive and I don't know where it went, and I don't know how it disappeared or got deleted, but I tried to do restoring things and I tried to find out where they went and I couldn't, so that was a problem. So back up your stuff, kids, because that's not fun to just lose. I think it was like 100 gigs worth of video. So today I'm going to talk you through how I built Bakuzan, because I don't have the footage to show you. Okay, I started off with just a sheet of pine board and I measured out one long rectangle for the sword itself from the top of the handle to the bottom of the sword. Then on each side of that, for the length of the blade, I measured out two thicker rectangles. I cut them out on the jigsaw. Once I had the basic rectangle cut out for the sword, I basically trimmed down the blade part to make it thinner than the width of the handle, so that this part would have something to sit down on top of. I also trimmed the bottom of the sword to give it the little kind of shape. Once I had it the shape I wanted, I ran the planer across it to thin it down to give it more of the kind of blade point. And then I used a sander to just thin out the blade and give it an actual sharp point, so the majority of it is sharp and the point in the end is sharp. I still have the footage from this part, yay, because it's one of the most difficult parts to describe. Basically with the other two pieces, I clamped them down and just used a router to carve out the center of them, so that when I was able to put the two of them together, it would sandwich together to make a hole for the sword to fit through as the sheath. Every time I cut another part out of it, I checked again that the sword still sat in it alright and that there was no other problems. Once I thought the parts that I cut out were deep enough and that there was enough space for the sword to slide in and out of comfortably, I glued the two of them together. I then rounded off all the edges and the bottom of it with the sander. The next part was the guard for the sword, which there's also a matching piece on the sheath, so this was kind of difficult to actually measure out. I actually screwed it up the first time, so I have two little pieces that I can show you for that. Basically what I did for these was I cut out two rectangles of MDF and then I taped them together on these two sides and across, so that when I was cutting out the corner parts and this little dip here, it was completely and totally symmetrical. They were completely the same, because if they're not matching it just wouldn't look right. I kept these two sides here and here taped and cut out the center part. While they were still taped together, I drilled two holes, and this will be for the, what's the word? Dowel. This will be where the dowel goes through. For the initial hole that I drilled, it was 6mm because the actual dowels are 6mm. Once I decided what part was going on the sheath, I basically widened out the holes so that the dowel can fit through it a lot more comfortably. I also added some little kind of curves around the side. You can't really see them, the camera doesn't want to focus. Yeah. I have a sore throat and I'm slightly dying, so bear with me. I attached the dowels with just wood glue because the hole was the same width as the actual dowels, so they fit in quite snugly already. I put two little gems, or two little fake gems, on top of each one to make it look like screws. So for a while, similar to the Keyblade, Bakuzan was blinging. Once the dowels and the little gems were dry and everything was ready to go, I just slotted down onto the sword and it just sat on the little kind of shoulders that were already there, and I just attached it with wood glue. The next part was these little pieces here, which are identical on both sides. To do them, I cut out each piece. These are basically little kind of extra parts from that had been cut off with the jigsaw, and I cut these to shape, and then I used the Dremel to basically curve off the edges. There's like a little dip in there that I added. Basically just shaped them so that they'd fit together well. They are also all glued down. There's actually no screws on this entire sword. I also glued this piece, and once I had it added and I knew which way the sword was going to comfortably sit in, I put a dip on this side so that you can kind of discreetly see which way the sword goes. It basically works that the sharp point of the sword goes towards the little kind of dip part. And they slot together nicely like that. I then primed the whole thing with white primer and hung it out on the washing line to dry and looked like a complete lunatic. It's not a complicated paint job, so it's literally the entire sheath itself is white and all these just different parts are different shades of grey. Painted them with acrylic paint, painted the sword with acrylic paint, varnished the whole lot, and then just put a ribbon around the handle. It's nice and comfortable to hold. That's basically it. That's how I put it together. It was the first time I've ever made a sheath, so that was a bit of a challenge and project for me, but it was fun. I really like it, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. Like, it fits together really well, so yeah, that's how I built that one anyway. If I was making a sword again, I'm very much to decide. If I was making the sword again, I would probably try to make the sheath a little bit more lightweight. It was my first time ever building one, so it was really kind of hit or miss. I'd make the handle a little bit thinner because at the moment it's just a bit too thick. I'd probably add a pommel on top as well because there currently isn't one, but I might actually add one in the future. This I made for my boyfriend's sister. So it's kind of her call. If she wants me to add one at some point, I will. For that, I just use modelling clay and glue it and just varnish that as well. I don't actually watch or read Kill la Kill, so I might have actually made like loads of mistakes and she's just being too polite to just not tell me. Let me know in the comments anything that you think I should have done differently or anything that you would have done differently. Or if you're a fan of Kill la Kill and I majorly screwed it up, then tell me what I did wrong so I can do better next time. Or if you liked it, that'd be even better if you liked it. If there is something that you would like to see me build as well, then the comments are another great place to tell me that. That's it for this one anyways. I'll be building the Master Sword next month. I am also still getting closer to 1,000 subscribers, which means I am getting closer to doing a sword giveaway. So subscribe if you want to be a part of that, because you do have to be subscribed to enter that. I'll still give all the details and stuff when I actually hit 1,000 subscribers, but in the meantime, subscribe if you like sword videos because I make lots of them. As always as well, all my social media stuff is linked below and you're welcome to follow me on any of that, be it the Facebooks or the Twitters and Tumblings and Instagrams and... Are there any other than that four? I'll also be uploading a video in a few days showing you how I did this to my hair because it's cool and I added blue to it, pretty, and I like it. And purple, I added purple to it. So in the meantime, be sweet, be strange, be kind, and don't be an asshat, and I will see you in the next video. So bye! You hate me so much, don't you? You're just gonna sit there. This is what happens when you make lots of noise while I'm recording a video. You end up in the video.